All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions. Continue our Clash of the Champions review series. It's going to be WCW Clash of the Champions 7, Guts and Glory. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, man. Let's get into it. We got a lot to cover here. 10 matches on the card, building up to Great American Bash. Um, June 14th, 1989, and we're in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. A lot of armed forces on hand for this one. This was
Mhm.
Flag Day as well as the 214th birthday, I think, of the Army,
Mhm.
they had said. So JR and Bob Caudle doing the commentary on this one. Unfortunately, this drew a 3.8, which is really bad considering what they have been drawing in the past.
Yeah,
And if you look at the card, you see
you
why.
see why, yeah. No flair on the card, so
Jim
that's a
Hurd was shit in the toilet, and I mean, it was just. Let's get into it. You guys will know what I mean. We did have the semifinals and the finals of the NWA World Tag Team
Mhm.
titles during this contest. The opening match was one of the semifinal matches. It was the Dynamic Dudes
Mhm.
versus the Fabulous Freebirds, where Jimmy Garvin was now officially in the Freebirds, even though unofficially, well, technically he's been with them for years. But now here he's officially in with them. So, and of course, you got Terry Bam Bam Gordy at ringside, which is, to say the least, that's a huge advantage. The match itself, it wasn't bad. I never got into the whole dynamic dudes thing with Shane Douglas
They
and
were like they were like the
Johnny
poor man's
Ace.
rockers. The poor
Thank
man's
you, thank you. I was just gonna say that they really were. I mean, and don't I'm not taking it away from Shane Douglas. You know,
No,
he's
he's
a
a good
rookie.
wrestler.
He's
He's
gonna
a
do
good
what he needs to do. Johnny Ace, Johnny Laurinaitis. He's what are you gonna do? But again, this is the plethora of tag teams they had in 1989. Unfortunately, some of them didn't all pan out. This one and another one on this
Mhm.
card. We'll get to it later. The match itself, actually, the Dynamic Dudes, I will say this, they gave the Freebirds a run for their money in this match. However, Freebird law takes over here when it's 3 against 2, technically. And in this case, it was because Shane had Garvin rolled up for the pin, and Hayes comes in while the referee is distracted. DDT's Shane, and Garvin gets the pin. Meanwhile, Gordy was also getting involved in this match as well. So the Fabulous Freebirds move on to the finals later on in the evening for the tag team titles. I mean, you look at it on paper, you pretty much know the Freebirds were going to win this match. I mean, the
Pretty much.
dudes were not getting this victory. So the next match on the card was one that really probably didn't need to be on there. It was Ranger Ross versus the Terrorist, aka the Blackmailer, aka Jack Victory.
Mhm.
He's already been re-gimmicked in 3 straight clashes. If you do this in that short of time, it's time to go. Every clash he had a different gimmick, and this match, I think it was more of a squash match for the crowd, for the army and everybody
Mhm.
that was
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
hand.
That's good.
Literally a 90-second match. Uh,
This guy was a
Ross,
ranger. That's why this guy was an army
yeah.
ranger.
So that's why I figured he was
Mhm.
on the card for this. You
Mhm.
know, a combat kick and a pin. Ranger Ross is
So
the
you
victor. This is over and done with, and let's see what the terrorist comes up with next. Following that, they did a video package for the Road Warriors. God only knows why. They don't need to be bolstered up.
yeah, I
Uh,
don't know.
they,
They
they,
want
I did like the song. I love the song they used to come out to back then. It was really cool. So, but again, they don't need
maybe they're
the
just
help
trying to
here.
maybe they're trying to kiss their asses before they left. But this is like what, a year before they left, something like that.
Yeah, just literally a year. So
Yeah.
possibly trying to, like you said, kiss their ass for the
Yeah.
re-signing period. But if the Road Warriors honestly would have stuck around during that timeline, I really think they'd have been miserable. So, and then of course, following that, Jim Ross brought out Gary Hart and the Great Muta. Gary Hart was saying how Muta doesn't want guys like in the ring was Mike Justice and Trent Knight, which by the way, Mike Justice will be on the card later on. Why they brought him out here to do this, I have no idea. He doesn't want to face people like that. He wants people like Steamboat, Sting, or the guy he's feuding with at this point, Eddie Gilbert. Funny they should ask because here comes Eddie Gilbert screwing up a
Hmm.
fireball, hits Trent Knight with it, and Muta got the hell out of there.
I'll do it, Ken.
So, first thing I thought of when I saw this, I was like, oh, Taker and Paul Bearer. I've seen
Right,
this
right,
before.
right, right. The flash paper.
Well, we see that later on.
Hogan and Warrior, that was a nightmare with the flash paper.
Oh my
Halloween Havoc
God!
98.
Yes.
Lord Jesus Christ. Anyway,
These things never work out.
they're dangerous too, man.
And they showed it in slow mo.
I know.
And you can even tell at that point this wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's Jim Herd. He's pulling out all the stops. So the next match on the card, actually, I could have probably gone with that promo for a little longer because the next match on the card is the Ding Dongs.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Greg Evans and Richard Sartan are under the mask versus Cougar J and George South. Who's naming these guys at this point? Come on now. Cougar J, George South. Who's he going to face? Mike North? What is it? What's going on here? I mean, 1980, 88 was a pretty hot year, and they're coming off a hot year going into 89, and it's just you're looking at some of the stuff and going, what the hell are they doing?
What are they thinking?
Seriously. And the fact that, okay, great, this was a 3-minute match, but you actually gave the Ding Dongs the victory.
3 minutes too long.
Yeah, their bells broke. I think somebody took away the bell in the corner because you keep ringing it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And then Jim Ross is like, "Oh, look, he broke his bells." Because they're all over the ring. I mean, this is just ridiculous. A flying knee drop on George South and the pin for the Ding Dongs. Congratulations, make them #1 contenders.
There you go.
Oh my God, I thank God that gimmick didn't really last because these guys only teamed up for a few years and then parted ways. So. Following that atrocity was the second of the semifinals for the tag team titles. It was the Midnight Express versus the Samoan SWAT team, a rematch. And of course, the Paul Lee, Jim Cornette feud going on here. Before but I did like this. Before the match, a fan attempted, he got in the ring. And I love Cornette said, we saved your life. We're going to go let you sleep it off. Because Stan Lane was ready to just knock this dude out. He ran right over it. Oh, yeah, he was. Of course. They're in North Carolina. You're at an NWA event. Kick back a few. And then jump in the ring and, pretend that's okay. So, the beginning of the match, though, saw some botches. Stan Lane did botch a back body drop during the match. I believe it was on Samu. Hopefully nobody noticed. I did. Otherwise, the match was just like we saw in the last Clash. It was pretty intensified. It was good. The referee of naturally getting knocked down, that makes everything better. The Road Warriors came down and interfered in this match because they're feud with the Samoan SWAT team. Stan Lane pinned Fatu after the Road Warriors interfered, and the Midnight Express are going on to the finals to face the Fabulous Freebirds. Possibly one of the top two, the best two tag teams right now, not taking anything away from the Road Warriors. So, now following that match, they showed what happened on May 7th when Terry Funk beat down Ric Flair, pile driving him on a table. I mean, later on, I'll get into this again later. I think they kind of oversold this a little bit.
Flair supposedly really got hurt, though.
He did, just not what he was. I don't
know. Supposedly he actually was injured. That's what, so they use it in the storyline.
Yeah,
that's why he didn't wrestle.
Yeah, he said he didn't have movement in his arm.
Well, no, well that. Oh yeah, I mean that of course when they're doing the promo, of course they're exaggerating, but he was actually legitimately injured. That's why he didn't wrestle.
I think if you look at it closely, the pile driver, I think his head really did hit that
he jammed. I think he jammed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so which is why he's out.
But this was the fallout from the whole Steamboat thing. Like Flair beat Steamboat, and then he challenged him. This guy Terry.
Terry Funk was being honored that night.
Right. He challenged
him,
and he was one of the judges. Was one of the judges, wasn't he, for the for that match for Steamboat and I think so.
I believe so. I know he was there.
Yeah. So and
then he gets in the ring and Chief shots him.
And then Flair becomes a babyface, which I don't know. Flair, I never bought him as a babyface. He was a much better heel.
He was. I mean, they changed him more times than anybody. Now I mean, the feud his daughter gets it from.
I mean, the feud with Terry Funk was good though. It wasn't. It was feud. Right off. I mean, it's time. You're coming off the Steamboat feud, so that's difficult to top. But I thought it was a good feud.
for the next thing in line for him, yes. And of course, Steamboat facing Funk in the main event here is kind of like, okay, I'll step in for you. You're out. I got him. So now, after they showed all that, because later on, JR will interview Ric Flair from his home. Our next match on the card was Dr. Death Steve Williams versus Terry Bam Bam
And
Gordy.
Dr. Death is like on all of these damn Clashes of Champions, man. I'm not a big fan of his, man. I know he's got his supporters. I mean, he's a big guy, you know. I guess he could wrestle, but
honestly, bro, they both look like they lost a step or two in this match. Like they were heavy breathing 2 minutes in.
Well, it was way worse later on for him.
Oh yeah, well, especially Gordy, well, Executioner. Let's not forget that when he tried in WWE.
Yeah, I felt bad for him at that point because he was suffering at that point.
Yeah, he was still trying too.
Yeah. I think he had some sort of brain damage. I think at that point.
Yeah,
but anyway.
And Dr. Death, I didn't follow him then. I didn't just follow him.
JR is like his best friend, huge support of him. I don't know. Let us know, Dr. Death fans. Let us know if you guys are out there.
You probably can find a Jared fan.
No, I don't know. Stop.
Is that too much on Williams? All right, take it back.
He doesn't deserve that.
Okay. I mean, the match itself, it was battle. They called it Battle of the Beasts, pretty much, which it was. But I just thought something was lacking from the match. And then, of course, you know, they took the fight down the aisle, which resulted in a double countout and the fans chanting bullshit. So, I mean, it was a waste of time. There's no winner here. This feud goes all the way back.
Everybody loses, including us.
Unfortunately, yeah, we had to watch it. So, but if you think that was bad, the next match on the card, Teddy Long wants to go into managing, right? Well, he starts with Bastion Booger. No, I'm sorry. I mean, Norman the Lunatic, as he's facing Mike Justice. Hey, Mike Justice is doing double duty tonight.
Sid Justice, younger brother.
Oh, jeez.
But not really.
Not really. Just in namesake, thank God. And only if you're in WWE. But this, I mean, yeah. Well, this was Norman's debut. You know, Teddy Long dangling the keys. I mean, this was bad. Hey, Norman wins here. Thank God in the next clash he loses. So, yeah, well, oh well. And he loses to the guy that we do a video package for in a little bit. But yeah, this literally was a 47-second squash match.
Thank God.
He a splash in the corner on Justice, and then he pinned him. After the match, the people in the white coats are looking for him. They put him on the gurney. This is a garbage gimmick from the beginning. I mean, he sucked on his debut. This thing is just going to go nowhere, and nowhere fast.
Later.
So the next promo is Jim Ross interviewed the Fabulous Freebirds about their upcoming match later on. And then plus the video package for the guy that beats Norman in the next clash, Flying Brian Pillman, as he'll be making his debut here real soon.
A lot of video packages tonight.
Yeah. Unlike Nitro, these guys actually, you know, kind of win their debuts and not lose. So at least Herd got that right. But following the video package on Brian Pillman, it was a tag team match. The Steiner brothers versus Mike Rotunda and Kevin Sullivan, the Game Master. And by this point, the feud between Rick Steiner and the Varsity Club, to me, is it's fading out because it's been going on for a while. He's now got his brother in there.
Yeah, but Scott is in there at least.
Thank God, because Rick Steiner back then by himself, it just, to me, didn't fit. Later on, when they kind of changed his gimmick in WCW, it worked a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit.
Better in the Steiner Bros. I thought he was okay.
Scott was better more as a singles wrestler when they split them up, but Rick was better with the tag team. And it was a shame that this match actually didn't go in the favor of the Steiner brothers. Sullivan had brought a chair into the ring. Rotunda suplexed Scott on the chair while the ref was distracted, and outside between Rick Steiner and Kevin Sullivan, and Rotunda got the pin on him. So Varsity Club gets another victory. Steiner brothers get their first clash loss, but it's not something that's going to be a constant thing because they'll get their winning streak going pretty much at the end of 89 into 90. Not the next clash though, but I'm not spoiling that one. So then, of course, following that match, now Jim Ross interviewed Jim Cornette about the tag team title match, and he's pretty much just on fire for tonight. He can't wait to face the Freebirds. He's the one that said you got the top best two teams that never faced each other, and he's right. And I was actually looking forward to this match.
So was I.
I wasn't looking forward to this next one on the card because it's for the NWA television title. Sting defending it against Wild Bill Irwin, a.k.a. The Goon. That a lot of people didn't know that one. I wish I had my time back to when I looked that up. I don't know why I did. But because I guess the face looked familiar, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen him somewhere.
It's the Goon. It's the Goon.
Yeah, well, Jesus.
That's great. That's great. Yes. The Sting putting up the U.S. title against a bum.
TV. Not U.S. yet. Luger still has that one.
Right. For some reason, I associate Sting with the fucking
and so do I.
US title, yeah.
Yeah. But at this time, it's pretty much owned by Luger for almost forever. Mm-hmm. But yes, no, don't worry. Good things are coming for Sting real soon. Unfortunately, this really wasn't a match worth watching. I mean, it was a 3-minute, 15
I was trying to whip him
too
at the beginning of the fight. The beginning of the match, he was trying to whip him.
It almost looked like he hit him too.
Yeah.
When he went outside the ring with it, I'm like, dude, you might want to back it up a little bit with that thing.
The Sting got him out of there though.
Yeah. And a Stinger splash on Irwin in the corner, rolls him up for a pin. Sting gets the victory. Unfortunately, his title reign will be short-lived. Great Muta will be rivaling with him. Great Muta is going to win that title, but that's still a great feud through 1989.
Mm-hmm.
So now the next, they showed another video package, and this one was for Scott Hall.
He had the blonde hair.
That looked weird.
Yeah. And he's with the
alligators.
The alligators, and I was like, what the hell's going on here, man?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But
in great shape though. He was in great shape physically.
Oh yeah, he was in his prime back then.
Mm-hmm. Doing drop kicks.
Imagine if they saw the future and knew what was going to be in store for him, they would have kept him and pushed him. But it wound up happening anyway. Plus, they also showed this is where Jim Ross was at Ric Flair's house interviewing the champion.
It's so weird seeing him as a babyface, man. He's like,
I know.
Hey, Rick, it's JR shows. Rick, oh, hey, Jim, nice to see you. Oh, he shakes his hand. Yeah, welcome to my house. Oh, and it's weird, man.
It is. And of course, he's wearing that, the Lakers.
That was a cool Laker. He had the jumpsuit, the warm up,
yeah, the warm up jacket, I think.
Yeah, it looked nice though. It looked sharp. He has the neck brace on. He's got the sunglasses.
Yeah, he's really selling it.
Yeah.
But he talked about how the 30-day, you have to defend the title every 30 days, and they've given him an extension.
Yeah. Well, that was nice of them.
Yeah, right. Kind of like what they're doing now with Roman. But anyway, he talked about how this title should be defended with honor and dignity, and the champion that could go out there.
It was a good interview. It was a good interview.
It was, and the whole time I'm thinking, you're going to drop the belt, Rick? We're going to have a tournament? No. You're going to go out there. We know.
He still holds it for like another year, I think. I think he has it for like another year.
I think until Sting beats him.
A year later.
At the following bash, yeah. So, hey, Ric Flair, they didn't give him short reigns as champion, man. He had some pretty lengthy ones.
It's Ric Flair, man. It's Ric Flair.
It is.
The guy's great.
I just wish Steamboat's reign would have lasted a little longer and not constantly having to face Ric Flair. So I remember in the last Clash, I said this, how it felt like a Triple H thing. Like, he loses it, and I got to get it back.
He fought Flair in '94, didn't he? Later on, when he comes back?
Yeah.
Wasn't Steamboat, right? But he didn't get a...
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. He was hoping that would kind of rejuvenate the rivalry and let's do the showdown again. But at this point, it didn't. And it's unfortunate because I think he still had it back then. But '94, that doesn't work for anybody but one guy, brother.
Yeah. But Flair's talking about his days. Like, I go to the rehab center. I go see
I go to the hospital twice a day.
Twice a day. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like,
why can't you just stay there and do it?
I talked to my lawyers and
yeah.
The promo was fine. I like the promo. Yeah. I enjoy it.
Divorce lawyers, not regular lawyers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I thought it was a little cheesy, but okay. Again, weird seeing him babyface.
Babyface. It's a little.
It's out there a little bit
because I want to hear Rick talk shit.
Like he always does. The gold, the Rolex, the whining and dining, the cocky SOB that he is. Not I don't know if I could be out there wrestling for these good folks.
Yeah, they were trying to do something different. Anyway, Anyway,
it doesn't matter. He's coming back. He's going to beat the hell out of Terry Funk. So our next match on the card is the finals of the World Tag Team Title Tournament. Fabulous Freebirds, Midnight Express.
mm-hmm.
Paulie decided to get involved in this one. Before the match even started, he came down and hit Cornette with a loaded racket, a horseshoe, and some chain in there.
Took him out, man.
So the secret weapon for the Midnight Express is gone, which now this pretty much leaves it being a handicap match.
Jim Ross got carried out too.
Yep. Hard to believe that.
Jim, I'm sorry.
Cornette
got carried out.
It's hard to believe that's a 24-year-old Jim Cornette back then, by the way.
Yeah, he was young, right?
Oh, yeah. I think he just recently, not too long, his 62nd birthday.
Yeah.
Still looks good. He can probably still aggravate people on the mic in wrestling, but I think he's pretty much retired from that. But again, like I said, this now gives the Freebirds that handicap advantage. And unfortunately, that would play a role here. It was also funny that the Dynamic Dudes came down to check on him before they carried him away. I'm like, why are you guys here? I know that match in the beginning was a fan,
they carried him out, right? They carried.
Yeah, Shane and Johnny did. Yeah,
yeah, to get the baby faces to carry him out. That's all it was. Don't try to make sense of it.
If you try to make sense of it, you just make yourself crazy. So once again, the referee distracted in this whole thing. Mm-hmm. This is where Terry Gordy really comes into effect with I guess you can call that a power bomb. I don't know. The way he did it just didn't feel like one, but it kind of was one, if that makes any sense. He powerbombed Eaton. And what's funny is Garvin got the pin. Now, if they show you on the replay, during that powerbomb and that pin, Stan Lane turns around and sees all of this happening. Like, I guess he's waiting for his cue to, by the way, I got to go and save him. But he looked a little too long to make it obvious that, what he was looking for. But they didn't care. I mean, obviously, they're not going to say anything on the commentary, but I happened to catch that. I don't know if you did. But, yeah, he just kind of turns around and looks at the whole thing going on, yeah. So the Fabulous Freebirds are now the NWA Tag Team Champions. Congratulations to them. Much deserved. They are a fantastic team. They're fabulous.
No Fantastics on this clash. Speaking of Fantastics.
No Fantastics. No sheep herders. No. The Fantastics by this point I think are out.
Yeah, because they were on a bunch of these men so far.
Oh yeah, well they were a good tag team, but pretty soon we're gonna get the Young Pistols and all those guys.
Oh Jesus.
The
precursor to the Smoking Guns.
Oh, you ain't kidding. So now on to our main event is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Terry Funk.
The number one contender, number one ranked, right?
Yep. Steamboat was number 1.
This guy was number 10.
Funk is number 10.
Yeah.
And they kept talking about Luger, who was pissed off at the rankings because he is at number 2.
That's actually pretty cool, man, that they had the rankings. I like that stuff because I'm a boxing fan. And in boxing, you have rankings. And so I thought that was actually pretty cool that they had some sort of a ranking system.
There is a rumor, by the way, that WWE is considering bringing that in, along with the trios titles and a whole bunch of other stuff they're going to bite off of AEW. But the ranking systems and the win-loss record is something that
they should.
The ranking system, I would definitely like to see.
I'd be all for it. Yeah,
because when WCW used to bring those up on the clashes and even on set TV on Saturday night, they would show you the top 10 people,
the ranking, the title eliminators, all that stuff. I love that stuff. Again, because I'm a boxing fan, I enjoy that stuff. So
yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. And so this match. It was pretty good considering it wasn't Flair versus Funk. Like I said, that's coming up, later on. Steamboat stepping in his place. He didn't have he didn't come down with the Little Dragon this time. They're at ringside. They're sitting, mainly probably because of Funk. That boy's batshit crazy. Rest in peace. During the match, Funk threw Steamboat into the referee, and he was down. He pile drive Steamboat on the outside, which pretty much everybody kind of thought that it was over for him right there. And then I'm thinking, he can handle that because Jake Roberts DDT'd him on the outside, and he was fine. Yeah. He could take those hits on the outside. He's good. So the only thing that I did not like, and I guess it's for Funk to save face and Steamboat to save face, is that it ended in a disqualification. But Funk hits him with a freaking microphone. Yeah. Get a chair or something. Come on, a microphone. So if Terry Funk gets disqualified, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat gets the victory. Now it's what afterwards, what transpired was what was interesting because Lex Luger came down.
Mm-hmm.
Funk just bowed out. He left the ring. Luger grabbed the microphone, started talking, saying that people think, I'm cocky, I'm conceited. He goes, I just have gripes and blah, blah, blah.
The pride.
So, yeah, he's got pride. And he picks up Steamboat.
Come on, Ricky, let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, Ricky, let's go.
Bam! Clotheslines him.
I knew he was gonna turn. It was so obvious.
Yes.
That he was gonna turn.
When you have a baby face come down and the heel just backs up and he doesn't go after him, right. Something's wrong.
So he was looking around. He was looking for a mic. He was like looking for a mic.
Yep. And
damn it,
the microphone.
Damn it, Luger. Damn it.
There lays your number one contender. Because Luger's at number 2, which I can understand his gripe. I can understand both gripes.
Mm-hmm.
Steamboat did lose the title, so technically he would be the number one contender to get the rematch. However, the U.S. title in NWA and WCW is technically the number one contender spot, even though they almost never got the shot.
Yeah,
but so I can understand the storyline's interesting here.
No, it is, and Luger was a good heel.
Oh, he was awesome.
Luger was. I mean, he's a guy that I thought at times he was actually decent as a babyface. He was fine. He wasn't a bad babyface, except WWE, but that wasn't his fault. That's another story. That's a story for another day.
We've already covered that.
We have covered it. Go look up that episode, people. So, but I enjoyed him as a heel. Like I bought him as a heel.
Yes, and back then, the top. I'll say the top 3 guys at this point in NWA are Flair, Luger, and Sting.
Mm-hmm. And Sting does come out.
Yeah,
Sting does come out to like help.
Sting came out to help, and I'm like, oh please God, don't you hit him too. But no, Sting's not going to do that. Sting actually did help him. So those are your top 3 guys. I would put Steamboat in at number 4 at this point. Maybe Funk is number 5. Those are your top 5 guys right there.
Yeah.
So Luger was definitely hot at this point. And when he finally became world champion, even though it was the bogus belt and not the real gold belt, he was still world champion. But this storyline going forward is really good. Again, like he said, there lays your number one contender. So, yeah, he's pissed. I don't blame him. But, definitely a good way to end the clash going forward. The storyline.
Even though it was kind of a little bit of a stinker, though, man.
I was kind of hoping that the next clash, it would have been Luger versus Steamboat, but not the case.
Yeah.
But, either way, it ended pretty well on
a
card that was lackluster.
It set up some storyline, so it was good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.